This week, Obama gets his medicine. No, not that medicine. Spacemen drink piss. No, not a Ruski prank. At Swayze, not yet Swayze. All this and Masi Mas. This is The News Show. Hello and welcome to The News Show. I'm Aarti Sequeira. This week brought to you by the barking of neighbours' dogs. The pseudo-urban version of the cock's crow. The barking of neighbours' dogs. Our top story. Michael Steele, the chairman of the Republican National Committee, vowed to take Obama head-on. Lest the public confuse this as a political challenge, Steele means to take Obama head-on, apply directly to the forehead. Head-on, apply directly to the forehead. Head-on, apply directly to the forehead. To deal with the general headache of his office. The head of Israel's Secret Service says there's no security reason for continuing construction of Israel's barrier through the West Bank. The wall, much maligned in the international community, may remain incomplete. Finally, someone to remind them that they had, God, king of all creation on their side, and that walls were both, quote, faithless and jerkish. 2 decades of fighting between government troops and the rebel group, the Tamil Tigers, came to an end this week in Sri Lanka after the military killed the rebels' leader on Sunday. While a national holiday has been declared, human rights groups are worried about the 30,000 Tamil civilians living in prison-like government camps. As for the Western world, apathy abounded, except for a momentary spike when someone mentioned we might get a cool new MIA song out of this. A Nepalese Sherpa guide has once again broken his own record, scaling Mount Everest for the 19th time. The 48-year-old Appa first climbed Everest in 1989 and has done so almost every year since. His closest rival, a fellow Sherpa, has made 15 trips. Perhaps this momentous feat will put a stop once and for all to the phenomenon of white men bragging about climbing Everest once. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station celebrated a space first this week, drinking water that had been recycled from their urine, sweat, and water that condenses from exhaled air. They said cheers, clicked drinking bags, and toasted NASA workers on the ground who were sipping their own version. For these astronauts, who dreamed since childhood of voyaging into space, their thoughts were clear. Whatever happened to Tang? This week, the LAPD melted over 40,000 pounds of firearms. The weapons were gained in the division's first anonymous buyback program, which yielded over 1,700 guns. They were smelted, and the metal was then formed into rebar, which local gang members then used to impale each other. And now, a word from our sponsor, the barking of neighbours' dogs.
I'm just like a mad dog. I snaps at everything I need.
Patrick Swayze is not dead. Reports of Patrick Swayze's death have been reckless and greatly exaggerated. He is still alive and kicking. Now, whether he's kicking or kicking, time will only tell. But he has not, I repeat, not kicked. The American Idol fans called and texted and crowned their newest idol, ultimately choosing softer, safe rock Chris Allen over glam rockin' Adam Lambert, which came
Miss Sequeira.
And finally, in New Zealand, a 3-year-old girl used her mother's auction site account to make a winning bid on an earth-moving digger for $20,000. Pippi Quinlan won the auction on the website Trade Me while her mother was napping. So Pippi will now finally and truly rule the sandbox. And that's the news show for this week. If we made you laugh, remember what Mum said, it's good to share. See you later.